Time now for Better Pets.
And today, we're talking about something that's really terrifying for a lot of people.
Come on, have a seat.
We're talking about bears mixing with humans. Come on, have a seat.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you. Okay. So. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Sit nice and close to each other like you like each other. There we go. All right, so Mark and I have been buddies on the web for many years. You are, I said you're the politest man that I know for the last name of Rudowitz, right? No, you are really terrific. You're a hardworking man. You serve in the community, and you do so much for animals, and I so appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
So thank you. It's nice to see you.
Yes. And we're happy that you're here with Dr. Dennis because we're talking about something that can be kind of scary, and these are these encounters we get with animals on the road, especially bears. It was just last year. I was on the way to Little League practice, and a little bear ran in front of my car and ran all the way to the Little League field. So they're out there.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of wildlife that we're just living with, and you know, our pets. We see a lot of injuries every year that come into the hospital, and some deaths too.
Because of them interacting with wildlife.
With wildlife, not so much bears, but coyotes are horrible.
Are tough.
You know, in terms of they're horrible in terms of the damage they can do to our pets, and it's not just small pets. So we just have to be aware and know what to do with them. Officer Rudowitz brought in a leash with us because it's whenever you go out with your pets.
Tool. No, seriously, that's it.
You don't want to just open up the garage door, which I did once, and let your dog just run out to go to the bathroom, because sometimes there's a bear waiting or there's a coyote waiting, and my dog is 80 pounds. So you just have to always bring them out with a leash. I always like to make some noise before I go out, especially at night or in the morning.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, absolutely. You want to, well, first of all, when encountering a bear, you want to make some noise. You want to identify yourself as a human, and you want to let them know that you're non-threatening. So you want to create some distance. But as far as the dog's walking a dog, it's the most affirmative tool that you can have to maintaining your dog's safety. When you're walking on, say, one of the trails around Simsbury or Farmington Valley, you know, people, I understand people want to let their dogs roam and have a little excess, a little length, but you know, you can, I tell folks, if you want, you can get a long, you know, 20-30 foot training leash, so you still can let your dog have a little room to run, but you still exercise ultimate control. You know, when you think about encountering a bear, if you encounter a bear on a trail, all the animals, especially, you know, your dogs they all have chase and prey drive, and as well trained as we think our own dogs are, you know, they will engage in a chase after a bear, and sometimes it can be absolutely devastating.
Right, and then when you go to with coyotes, a lot of people think there's just one coyote waiting outside, but many times there's a whole pack waiting. And I have had several clients that they've seen their dogs, their Jack Russells, just snatched and taken off into
that has to be one of the most horrifying things to see.
And a lot of times I think we blame. We see more cats that are outdoors that are missing than ever before. I mean, I've been practicing for a long time, and I've just seen that change. So we have to change our thinking about how much freedom we give our pets. And then another thing that I just think is very important is keeping up to date with that rabies vaccine.
Absolutely.
Because even cats that are indoors, cats, we have bats that come inside, and bats carry rabies. So you have to keep up with your I see some slapping going around.
My cat trapped a bat. I mean, thank God he had the rabies, but he got him and pinned him and held him there for us.
Yeah, and they do, but a lot of people think, oh, I don't really need it because my cat's not outdoors. But our lifestyles have changed, and again, if we can keep them safe and keep them from harm, that would be the ideal thing.
But you're out there in the public. Yes. Are you seeing more of a recurrence of wildlife getting closer to our homes?
Oh, absolutely. Particularly our black bear population and our coyote population. Our black bears, if you think about it, Connecticut used to be a lot more agriculture and farming, but up until, well, maybe 20, 30 years ago, it started to dissipate. So what happened here in Connecticut was a reforestation, which provided a real natural and a safe habitat for a lot of, not just the bears, but a lot of your fur-bearing species. So now in contrast to that, we've seen a lot of growth and development, not only in Simsbury, but the whole Farmington Valley. So these populations are growing in numbers. So we are seeing bears, you know, in backyards, on people's decks, in yards. And one of the most safest things I tell folks as far as with the bears, you know, bears in Connecticut have maybe a limited amount of food source, some acorns and some other items, but to remove the non-natural attractants, bird feeders, suet, garbage, recycle bins, and that's they may still lumber through your yard, but if there's not a food source there, chances are the bear is not going to stay in your yard long.
What's interesting is Kara leaves her food actually out, so the bear has a taste of it, and they'll never come back.
No, right. Stay to Hartford.
The bear won't eat my food. Okay. Now, what if you're out there and your dog just goes running after a bear? What do you do then?
Well, there are people that know that they're living in, like I have people that live near the West Hartford reservoirs, and they actually will carry these whistles with them, and actually there's these little foghorns. So people are being proactive because the more noise that you can make, that would be the best. I mean,
because then the bear will get scared and run away.
Well, hopefully, but sometimes it's just like, oh well, they don't always get that frightened, but that's what you want to try to sort of set up that situation. But at least then, and you want to try to back away slowly as you're doing that. You don't want to run. But if you don't have your dog on your leash, you don't have a chance, because that's where people get in trouble. The dog goes after the bear, and then they run after the dog. So that's where, please keep them safe on a leash.
We have a little bit of time,
yes.
About 30 seconds. Talk to us about your experience a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I was coming, here I am saving lives at work at 1:30 in the afternoon. I was driving home to Simsbury on 189, which is a highway, and this bear just ran out. I mean, he must have been at least 350 pounds, and that's my car.
And that's my dog.
And that's my dog.
Yeah.
Who looks like the bear.
But that's actually your car that got hit. Yeah.
Right, so the police came, but I can't open up my passenger side. Luckily, I was not hurt. The bear, I don't know how he survived, but he did.
Survive.
But it was just horrible. But you have to be alert, and I'm usually aware of deer, like dusk and
not a bear.
I wasn't expecting this one to run out, so you just have to always be alert. And another reason not to text while you drive.
Absolutely.
Right.
All right, as a reminder, Dr. Dennis is the owner of the Bloomfield Animal Hospital on Old Windsor Road in Bloomfield, and Mark, is Rudowitz?
Rudowitz, okay. Yes.
You are the nicest man on earth, so thank you for being with us. Dr. Dennis can be heard on alternating Saturday afternoons from 2 to 3. She's taking listener questions during Pet Talk on WTIC 1080 radio, so tune in if you can.